Hello, welcome back to Halftime TV. Naranda Brown here, your host, and today we'll be switching it up a little. We'll be talking about boxing. Yes, boxing. Normally we come on here and we talk about athletics. You know, I'm Jamaican for the most part, so it's always athletics and football, which is the bread and butter of most Jamaicans. But today we opted to talk about boxing because we had a fantastic fight last evening wherein Anthony Joshua went up against Alexander Usyk. Magnificent fight. It went all the way, full 12 rounds, heavyweight boxing at its finest. But before I go into the details, let me say thank you to my sponsors, Quicklink Shipping, RS Sports Store, and CSA Shop. RS Sports Store, Quicklink Shipping, CSA Shop. You guys have been with us since day one, and as we approach 4,000 subscribers, we appreciate you no more than ever. If you're new to the channel, please remember, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section as well. We appreciate all the love that we've received from you, the viewers, and the subscribers even more so. All right, so let's get to it. How did Anthony Joshua, the world champion, how did he lose this one? What happened? What transpired? What resulted in him coming away on the losing end of such a big fight? Could be that the fight was held at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in front of 68,000 home fans, because the fight was in London, obviously. In front of 68,000 fans, Anthony Joshua just didn't show up. He didn't rise to the occasion. And considering he was the favorite going into this one, I did a preview of this fight. I didn't go into details as I did it in the form of a short. You can see it on YouTube as well. And I said in the preview that I thought Alexander Usyk had better technique. He was a better boxer when it came down to the technicalities. And some may say, but Halftime, what do you know about boxing? Quite frankly, I have been a big fan of boxing since I was a child. I used to watch boxing with my father. Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, all those guys were the ones I was watching as a youngster growing up. And on local television, they used to bring the boxing matches, maybe 10 on a Saturday evening. Yeah, 10 p.m. on a Saturday evening, we used to sit up and watch those. Obviously, we had to go to church on Sunday, but nonetheless, it was good family time and good fun to enjoy with your relatives. Now, fast forward a few years later, because obviously I'm not going to disclose how far back that was, but fast forward a few years later, I know I'm even a bigger fan of boxing now. And watching that match, it took me back to my childhood years, because we tend to ignore how important or how significant training and technique is when it comes down to boxing. And that's exactly what happened in this one. Anthony Joshua, the world champion, he was outboxed. He was outwit everything. Alexander Usyk, he came up on the upper hand 9 out of 10 times, really. I think he had the better start. He was out the blocks flying from the onset. He had wonderful foot movement. It kind of remind me of a Muhammad Ali kind of boxing. His feet were constantly moving from the first bell. He was gliding through the ring. He didn't keep still. He was constantly moving, not giving Anthony Joshua a clear shot on him, and he got his jabs in. Full 12 rounds, he had consistent jabs, pushing them on Anthony Joshua, and I think it rendered Anthony Joshua impotent in the end, because he couldn't fathom that this guy, who is quite frankly 3 inches shorter than Anthony Joshua and has 4 inches shorter reach, what was giving him such a run for his money. Yeah, this is his 4th fight in the heavyweight class. He came up from the cruiserweight where he dominated. And remember, this is someone who's had 18 fights and 13 knockouts. He hasn't lost. It's now 19-0. So he is someone to be reckoned with, and I think we will be seeing him for some years to come. Now, if we're to remember correctly, the heavyweight belt has always been in the Slavic region, and I know sometimes when we look at the Russians and the Ukrainians when they're boxing, it's almost as if we become fearful because they're so imposing. And it was the same thing again. Anthony Joshua, he came in the ring, he was a little bit relaxed. We could see in his face that he was trying to concentrate as much as possible. But Usyk, from the onset, he seemed as if he was out for blood. And when the blood started running, when both boxers had blood dripping down the side of their faces, Usyk seemed the more aggressive of the two boxers. He was out to get Anthony Joshua. And at the end of the match, he came out and he said it as well. He said he didn't want to knock Anthony Joshua out. And personally, I think he could have easily knocked him out, because there were more than one opportunities that presented themselves for Usyk to knock out Anthony Joshua. But he did the full 12 rounds. He gave us a proper boxing match. And I think Anthony Joshua will be going back to the drawing board and assessing where he went wrong. He came into this match weighing 240 pounds, which is roughly 19 pounds more than Alexander Usyk. He's usually bigger than that, Anthony Joshua. His weight is generally his strength. And he said this particular match, he said before, that it would be a match of conditioning. So he's been conditioning himself. He's changed up his training routine for the past few weeks in preparation for this match, but it didn't work out. Anthony Joshua, he didn't fight his fight. Instead, he tried to change it up a little to suit or to adjust to Alexander Usyk, to the opponent in front of him. Whereas I think he could have easily fought his fight and won. But his coaches know way better than I do. After all, I'm just someone sitting from the stands or sitting behind a television screen and watching. But I think Alexander Usyk, he thoroughly deserved this one. He boxed Anthony Joshua all the way out of the United Kingdom last evening. And I think the 68,000 fans in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they were left entertained yet disappointed. At the end, I think the 12th round, they were singing the Beatles. They were doing everything to try and get Anthony Joshua back in it. And in the 12th round, he even lost that one as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll read you guys what the scorecard was, because it was a unanimous decision. And even the blind could see that from maybe round 9 that Alexander Usyk had won. The only way Anthony Joshua could have gotten back into that one was if he probably produced a KO in round 10, round 11, or round 12, because there was no way back at that point. I thought he had some strong rounds. Alexander Usyk had the better start, but as soon as he seemed as if he was getting back into it, Alexander Usyk found his footing again, and he nullified the threat, or nullified what Anthony Joshua was trying to come back with. All right, so here are the score. It's 117 to 112 from judge number 1, 116 to 112 judge number 2, and 115 to 113 from judge number 3. So it's a given that everyone who watched the match would have given it to Usyk. He's a fantastic boxer. He's very quick. His technique is exceptional, and I think he will continue getting better. At 34 years old, you'll say, but he's 34 is probably not going to be at the top for very long, but we'll see. We have Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, who will be fighting the first week of October, well, the 9th of October, so not quite the first week. And who knows, maybe the winner of that fight will very well be fighting Alexander Usyk. And I'm pretty sure, after seeing how he handled Anthony Joshua, neither of those fighters will be excited to go up against him. He's a cut above the rest as far as I'm seeing right now, as he offers something different. The speed, the foot movement, the agility, and the constant movement. He's special, and we have to pay keen attention to him, because if we don't, I'm pretty sure Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they will have a rude awakening if they take this gentleman lightly. Alexander Usyk is the world champion. He's taken off everything off Anthony Joshua, the IBF, the WBO, and everything else that was there. He now has them, and I know he'll be protecting them with his life. He promised us that there is a lot more to come from Alexander Usyk, so I know that he will be training hard, and he will be preparing for the next opponent that is put in front of him. But Anthony Joshua, he will be looking for a rematch. He needs to bounce back from this one. He tweeted after the match that he's disappointed, but he'll definitely be bouncing back from it. And again, this is how boxing works. This is how boxing works. It's all or nothing. And Anthony Joshua, he lost it all. So he'll be trying to regain at least some of it before the year ends. We'll be here, we'll be watching, we'll be waiting to see if it happens, and if it happens, when it happens, because Anthony Joshua, he needs to come back and he needs to regain what some may say is rightfully his. Alexander Usyk is the world champion. He deserves it. Anthony Joshua didn't stand the slightest of chances, and as such, he came away empty-handed. Congratulations, Alexander Usyk. Miranda Brown from HalftimeTV is saying, remember, like, share, subscribe, folks. Until next time, bye-bye.